Are you still being told that the best way to stay strong as you age is simply to go for a walk? Walking is absolutely healthy. It supports circulation, lowers stress, and keeps joints moving. But here is the surprising truth. Walking alone does almost nothing to stop or reverse one of the biggest hidden threats of aging, muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia. Now, why does that matter? Because sarcopenia is not just about weaker arms or legs. It is one of the root drivers of slow metabolism, fatigue, weight gain, and even faster aging. When you lose muscle, you do not just lose strength, you lose one of the most powerful metabolic organs in your body. That may sound strange because most people think of muscles only as things that help us lift or move. But physiologically, muscle is also an endocrine organ. It talks to your brain, your liver, and even your immune system. Here is what is really going on inside your body. After about the age of 30, the average person loses 3 to 5% of muscle mass per decade. By the time someone reaches their 60s or 70s, this decline accelerates and the results show up everywhere. Blood sugar gets harder to control. Fat storage around the belly becomes easier, and recovery from stress or illness slows down dramatically. That is sarcopenia at work. It is not just a cosmetic problem, it is a metabolic time bomb. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles are like the engine of a hybrid car. The bigger and stronger the engine, the more efficiently the car can burn fuel. But if the engine shrinks and weakens, the car runs sluggish, wastes fuel, and struggles to climb hills. That is exactly what happens to your metabolism when you lose muscle. Your engine shrinks, and suddenly fat starts accumulating, energy tanks, and aging accelerates. Now here's the empowering part. Research is showing that you do not need a gym membership. You do not need to spend hours lifting heavy weights, and you certainly do not need to resign yourself to muscle decline. In fact, there are 2 simple exercises that you can do at home without equipment that have been proven to not only stimulate muscle growth, but also activate the biochemical pathways that fight sarcopenia directly. In today's session, I am going to break down the science of why walking is not enough, why these 2 movements are so powerful, and how you can integrate them into your day in less than 15 minutes. Along the way, you will learn how muscle communicates with your metabolism, what hormones are at play, and most importantly, how you can regain control over strength, energy, and longevity without complicated routines. If you have been feeling like you are doing everything right, eating clean, staying active, maybe even walking every day, but still noticing weakness, softness, or slow weight loss, then what I am about to share could be the missing link. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will have 2 tools you can use immediately to rebuild your metabolic engine and keep sarcopenia out of your future. Let us start with one of the most common health recommendations you hear everywhere. Just walk every day and you will stay strong and healthy. It sounds reassuring, it is simple, and it is true that walking supports heart health, lowers stress, and even improves mood through endorphin release. But when it comes to muscle preservation and the fight against sarcopenia, walking is like bringing a spoon to dig a foundation. It is useful, but far too weak for the job at hand. Here is what is really going on inside your body when you walk. Walking is primarily an aerobic activity. That means it relies heavily on your cardiovascular system and burns calories through sustained low-intensity effort. Aerobic exercise improves circulation and keeps your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells, functioning well. However, what walking does not do is apply meaningful resistance to your muscles. Without that resistance, your muscle fibers do not get the signal they need to grow or even to hold on to their existing strength. Now, let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles are like employees in a company. If they are constantly given only the easiest repetitive tasks, they eventually downshift, becoming less efficient and even shrinking their capabilities. They need challenges, real, demanding tasks to stay sharp and productive. Walking, while beneficial for overall movement, is essentially giving your muscles the easiest assignment possible. They do not adapt because they are never challenged. What the research shows is that skeletal muscle only responds to progressive overload. That means applying force, resistance or tension that exceeds what the muscle is accustomed to. When you walk, you are simply repeating a motion that your body has mastered for decades. There is no overload, and therefore there is no muscle growth. This explains why older adults who walk daily can still lose muscle mass and strength. In fact, a large study published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle found that without resistance training, walking alone had almost no impact on preserving lean body mass in adults over the age of 60. That is a critical finding because it reveals that even if you are consistent with walking, the slow march of sarcopenia continues beneath the surface. Now, here is where it gets even more serious. Muscle is not just about strength or physical performance. It is one of your primary regulators of blood sugar. When you lose muscle, your body loses its largest reservoir for glucose disposal. That means blood sugar spikes higher after meals, insulin resistance creeps in faster, and fat storage becomes more aggressive. So the loss of muscle accelerates the very metabolic problems so many people struggle with in midlife: belly fat, fatigue, brain fog, and sluggish recovery. Let me simplify this with a visual analogy. Think of your muscles as giant sponges that soak up blood sugar after you eat. The bigger and stronger the sponge, the better your body can handle food without storing it as fat. But when that sponge shrinks, as it does with sarcopenia, your body has nowhere to put the sugar and it spills over into fat storage, liver stress, and inflammation. Walking does not make the sponge bigger. Resistance-based exercise does. So the takeaway here is not to dismiss walking altogether. Walking is excellent for mental health, circulation, and overall activity. But when it comes to stopping muscle decline, walking is insufficient. If you want to truly defend your metabolism, preserve your independence, and fight aging at the root level, you must add movements that challenge your muscles. And the good news is, these do not require a gym, machines, or heavy weights. In a moment, I will show you the first at-home exercise that does exactly this. But before we get there, let me pause with this reminder. If this is helpful so far, tap the hype button below and consider subscribing. I post content like this every day, translating science into simple tools you can use. The supplements we are discussing in this video are tagged with the video, and you can get them easily from online stores. The first exercise that science consistently shows to be one of the most powerful defenses against sarcopenia is the squat. Now, before you picture complicated gym equipment or heavy barbells, let me clarify. I am talking about the simple bodyweight squat, a movement you can do anywhere at any time with no equipment at all. Why is the squat so powerful? Because it engages the largest muscle groups in your body: your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and core. These are not only the muscles that help you stand, walk, and climb stairs, but they are also some of the most metabolically active tissues you possess. When these muscles are stimulated, they send powerful signals throughout your body that slow and in some cases even reverse the progression of sarcopenia. Here is what is really going on inside your body when you perform a squat. As you lower your body, your muscles are placed under eccentric tension, meaning they are lengthening while still holding force. Then as you rise back up, they contract concentrically, shortening with power. This combination of eccentric and concentric loading is exactly the type of mechanical stress that activates satellite cells around your muscle fibers. These satellite cells are like stem cells for your muscles. They wake up, fuse to existing fibers, and help them grow stronger and thicker. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your muscles as a neighborhood of houses. Over time, some of the houses wear down. Without repair, the whole neighborhood declines. Squats are like calling in a construction crew that not only repairs damaged houses, but also reinforces them with new material, making the neighborhood stronger than before. What the research shows is remarkable. A study published in Frontiers in Physiology found that lower body resistance exercises, especially squats, produce the greatest gains in muscle strength and hypertrophy among older adults, even when performed with just body weight. Another paper in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity confirmed that simple squat training improved not only strength, but also balance, coordination, and metabolic resilience in participants over the age of 60. Now, you might wonder, how many squats do you need to do? The beauty is, you do not need hundreds. Even a small, consistent dose of squats can have profound benefits. A practical protocol is to perform 3 sets of 10 to 15 bodyweight squats 3 to 4 times per week. If that feels challenging at first, start with fewer repetitions, even 5 at a time, and gradually increase as your body adapts. The key is consistency and progression. And here is another benefit. Squats are functional. Every time you get up from a chair, use the toilet, or climb stairs, you are essentially performing a squat. By training this movement, you are not just preserving muscle, you are directly reinforcing the strength and independence you rely on every single day. There is also a hormonal benefit. Squats stimulate the release of anabolic hormones such as growth hormone and testosterone, both of which decline with age and are key players in preventing sarcopenia. At the same time, squats help lower cortisol, the stress hormone that promotes muscle breakdown. This hormonal shift is like flipping a switch from muscle loss mode to muscle growth mode. Now, safety is important. If you have joint issues or balance concerns, you can start with chair squats, sitting down onto a sturdy chair and standing back up repeatedly. This reduces the risk of falling and still activates the same powerful muscle groups. Over time, as your strength builds, you can transition to freestanding squats without support. So the first exercise is clear. Squats. Simple, accessible, deeply effective, and backed by science. They not only strengthen your largest muscles, but also reactivate your metabolism at the root level. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce the second at-home exercise that pairs perfectly with squats. It is equally simple, requires no equipment, and works another critical set of muscles that protect you from sarcopenia. Together, these two form a complete anti-aging movement protocol you can do in under 15 minutes a day. The second exercise I want to share with you today is the push-up. Just like the squat, it requires no equipment, can be scaled to any fitness level, and directly combats the muscle decline that drives sarcopenia. Why push-ups? Because they target the muscles of your upper body, your chest, shoulders, triceps, and even your core. Together, these muscles are essential not only for physical strength, but also for metabolic health. When you activate and preserve upper body muscle, you are defending against the progressive weakness that makes everyday activities, carrying groceries, lifting objects, or even getting up from the floor, increasingly difficult with age. Here's what is really happening inside your body when you perform a push-up. As you lower your body, your chest and shoulder muscles undergo eccentric loading, creating microscopic stress within the fibers. As you push yourself back up, those same fibers contract concentrically with force. This combination, just like with squats, triggers repair and growth through satellite cell activation. But beyond local muscle growth, push-ups stimulate systemic signals that tell your body we still need strength. Do not shut these systems down. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles are like a Wi-Fi router. The stronger the router, the better the signal spreads throughout your home. In the same way, the more you engage your muscles, the stronger the biochemical signals that spread throughout your body, improving insulin sensitivity, lowering inflammation, and enhancing hormonal balance. Push-ups are one of the simplest ways to keep that signal strong. Research supports this. A large cohort study published in JAMA Network Open found that men who could perform more push-ups had significantly lower risk of cardiovascular disease over 10 years, independent of their other fitness activities. Why? Because push-ups engage large muscle groups that directly influence glucose handling, fat metabolism, and vascular health. Another study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research confirmed that even modified push-ups done from the knees or against a wall provided measurable improvements in muscle endurance and strength in adults over 50. So how do you get started? If a standard floor push-up feels too difficult, begin with an incline push-up. Place your hands on a sturdy surface like a table, countertop, or wall, and perform the same motion at an angle. As your strength improves, you can gradually lower the incline until you are able to perform them on the floor. The goal is progression, not perfection. A simple starting protocol is 3 sets of 8 to 12 push-ups, performed 3 times per week. If that feels like too much, Start with 3 to 5 repetitions, rest, and repeat. Even a few push-ups a day create a powerful signal to your muscles and metabolism. What makes the push-up so unique is how it complements the squat. Together, these two exercises cover your lower and upper body, engage your core, and activate nearly every major muscle group. That is why I often call them the minimalist anti-aging routine. Just squats and push-ups consistently performed can shift your body from decline to growth, from weakness to resilience. There is also a hidden benefit. Push-ups train more than just muscles, they improve bone density in the upper body. This is vital because as we age, osteoporosis and bone weakness often occur alongside sarcopenia, creating a dangerous combination of fragile muscles and fragile bones. Push-ups directly counter this by applying force to the arms, shoulders, and chest, stimulating bone remodeling and strengthening. So now you have the pair squats and push-ups. 2 movements, 0 equipment, less than 15 minutes. And yet, when done consistently, they awaken dormant muscle fibers, improve blood sugar control, lower inflammation, and literally turn back the clock on muscle aging. Before I move on, let me remind you, if you are finding this valuable, tap the hype button and subscribe. I post content every day to help you use science to stay strong, lean, and full of energy. The supplements we discuss here are tagged with this video, and you can find them easily online. Now that you know the 2 foundational exercises, squats for the lower body and push-ups for the upper body, the natural question is how do you put them together into a routine that is simple, sustainable, and powerful against sarcopenia? Here's what is really going on in your body when you combine these 2 squats. Activate the largest muscles of the lower half, your glutes, quadriceps, and hamstrings, which are directly tied to mobility, independence, and metabolic resilience. Push-ups activate the chest, shoulders, arms, and core, critical for daily strength and hormonal health. When you engage both, you are sending a whole body signal that tells your physiology this system is still needed. Keep it alive. That is the essence of anti-aging exercise. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a garden. If you only water one section, the rest begins to dry out. But if you water the entire garden, the ecosystem flourishes. Squats and push-ups together water the entire system, upper and lower body, major joints, and metabolic pathways. So, what does the research say about frequency and dosage? A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that muscle strength and hypertrophy in older adults improved most when resistance-based movements were performed 2 to 3 times per week, with at least 1 day of recovery in between. Another paper in Sports Medicine confirmed that consistency matters more than volume. A few high-quality sets performed regularly outperformed infrequent, high-volume training. Here is a protocol you can start with immediately. Number 1, perform squats and push-ups 3 non-consecutive days per week, for example, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Number 2, do 3 sets of each exercise. For squats, aim for 10 to 15 repetitions. For push-ups, aim for 8 to 12. Adjust these numbers based on your current strength. If you can only do 5, start there. Progress comes from consistency, not perfection. Number 3, rest about 60 to 90 seconds between sets. This allows your muscles to recover enough to perform the next set with good form while still keeping the metabolic challenge high. Number 4, as you improve, increase difficulty gradually. For squats, that might mean slowing down the descent, adding a pause at the bottom, or holding light weights. For push-ups, that could mean lowering your incline over time, moving from wall push-ups to table push-ups, and eventually to the floor. Number 5, pair this exercise routine with proper nutrition and recovery. Remember, muscle does not grow during the workout itself. It grows afterward when your body repairs. Prioritize protein-rich meals, at least 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within a few hours of exercise. Add micronutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids, which research shows are critical for muscle repair and metabolic health. Here's something most people miss. Sleep is also a form of training. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which directly supports muscle repair. Skimping on sleep sabotages your gains no matter how disciplined your exercise is. Aim for 7 to 9 hours per night with a consistent bedtime routine. By combining squats and push-ups into this rhythm, short, focused, consistent sessions, you create a protective wall around your muscles. You are not just slowing sarcopenia, you are actively reversing it. And you are doing it in a way that is free, sustainable, and adaptable to any age or fitness level. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. No machines, no memberships, no complicated routines. Just two primal movements that cover nearly every major muscle in your body. When performed consistently, they do more than maintain strength. They keep your metabolism young, your hormones balanced, and your independence secured. Now, I will explain how nutrition and lifestyle factors amplify the power of these two exercises, turning a simple routine into a complete anti-aging protocol. Exercise alone is powerful, but it is only half of the equation. To truly fight sarcopenia, you must pair the right movements with the right internal environment. And that comes from nutrition, hormones, and recovery. Here is what is really happening inside your body. When you perform squats and push-ups, you create microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. This is a good thing. Your body responds by sending in amino acids, growth factors, and repair enzymes to rebuild those fibers stronger than before. But if your bloodstream does not have enough of the raw materials, especially protein, that rebuilding process stalls. Think of it like repairing a house after a storm. The construction crew may be ready, but if there are no bricks, no wood, and no nails, nothing gets rebuilt. Protein provides the bricks. Without it, your muscles cannot adapt to the stress you placed on them. Research consistently shows that older adults need more protein than younger people to stimulate muscle growth. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day was optimal for preserving muscle in people over 50. That means if you weigh 70 kilograms, your target range is between 84 and 112 grams of protein daily. Equally important is timing. After exercise, your muscles are like sponges, highly sensitive to protein intake. This period, often called the anabolic window, lasts about 2 to 3 hours. Consuming a protein-rich meal or supplement during this time maximizes muscle repair. Simple options include eggs, salmon, Greek yogurt, or a high-quality whey or plant-based protein shake. But protein is only part of the story. Your hormones play an equally critical role. Testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin-like growth factor 1 all promote muscle building. Unfortunately, these hormones naturally decline with age. However, lifestyle can offset much of this decline. Resistance exercise itself stimulates hormone release, but sleep, stress management, and certain nutrients amplify the effect. For example, research in endocrine reviews shows that 7 to 9 hours of deep sleep increases growth hormone secretion. Magnesium supports testosterone production. Omega-3 fatty acids lower inflammation that otherwise blocks muscle repair. Even vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin, has been linked to improved muscle function and strength in aging adults. Now let me connect this back to recovery. Many people believe progress comes only from pushing harder, but the truth is, muscle growth happens during recovery, not the workout. Skipping rest days, undereating, or ignoring sleep sabotages your progress more than missing a workout. A smart rule of thumb is train hard, recover harder. Give your muscles at least 1 day of rest between squat and push-up sessions, and use that day to focus on protein, hydration, stretching, and sleep. Let me simplify this with an analogy. Imagine you are filling a bank account. Every workout is a deposit. It adds potential value. But unless you provide the resources for the account to grow, protein, sleep, recovery, the balance does not increase. Nutrition and recovery are the interest that turns your small deposits into real wealth. So here's a practical action plan. Number 1, pair each squat and push-up session with 20 to 30 grams of protein within a few hours. Number 2, aim for a daily total of 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Number 3, Supplement wisely with vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids if your diet is lacking. Number 4, protect 7 to 9 hours of high-quality sleep every night. Number 5, keep stress in check because elevated cortisol literally breaks down muscle tissue. By integrating exercise, nutrition, and recovery, you create a complete internal and external environment that resists sarcopenia. The squats and push-ups give your body the signal to grow. Protein and sleep provide the raw materials. Hormonal balance acts as the amplifier. Put them together and you shift from decline into rejuvenation. Now, we will bring everything together into a practical, long-term blueprint so you can confidently fight sarcopenia and maintain energy, strength, and independence for decades to come. We have covered the problem, the physiology, the exercises, and the supporting nutrition. Now, the question becomes, how do you make this stick for the long term? Because the truth is, fighting sarcopenia is not about a quick fix. It is about creating a rhythm that fits your life and sustains your independence for decades. Here is what is really happening in your body when you practice consistency. Each session of squats and push-ups sends a small signal to your muscles and metabolism. That signal by itself is modest. But when repeated over weeks and months, the signals accumulate and your body adapts permanently. Just like brushing your teeth daily prevents cavities, small but consistent training sessions prevent muscle decline. Think of it like compound interest. If you invest a little every day, the growth may feel slow at first, but over time the gains multiply into something extraordinary. Your muscle health works the same way. 15 minutes of focused effort, repeated consistently, compounds into decades of strength, mobility, and vitality. Now, the blueprint for long-term success has 3 pillars: exercise, nourishment, and environment. Pillar 1 is exercise. Commit to 3 sessions per week of squats and push-ups. That is your foundation. As you grow stronger, feel free to layer in other bodyweight movements like planks, lunges, or hip bridges. But never underestimate the power of the basics. Squats and push-ups remain your anchor. Pillar 2 is nourishment. Treat food as fuel for muscle. Build every meal around protein, add colorful vegetables for micronutrients, and do not shy away from healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, and fatty fish. These stabilize hormones, reduce inflammation, and keep your metabolism sharp. Hydration is equally important. Even mild dehydration increases cortisol and slows muscle repair. Aim for 2 to 3 liters of water daily, adjusted for body size and activity. Pillar 3 is environment. This is where recovery, stress management, and sleep come in. Create a sleep routine that signals to your body it is time to recharge. Manage stress through mindfulness, prayer, or time in nature. Remember, chronic stress is catabolic. It literally eats away at muscle. By controlling your environment, you create the hormonal balance your body needs to stay anabolic in growth mode. One overlooked part of the blueprint is measurement. What gets measured improves. Track your progress, not just in the number of repetitions you perform, but in how you feel. Are you getting up from a chair more easily? Do you notice more energy during the day? Are your clothes fitting differently because your body composition is shifting toward muscle? These real-world markers matter as much as numbers. And here is an empowering reminder: it is never too late to start. Studies show that even individuals in their 70s and 80s can build new muscle with simple bodyweight exercises. One trial published in the Journal of Gerontology found that frail adults gained significant strength and mobility after just 12 weeks of consistent resistance training. That means no matter your age, your body is still listening, still capable of adaptation, and still ready to grow. So here is your anti-aging blueprint summarized. Squats and push-ups 3 times per week. Protein-rich meals daily, especially after workouts. Consistent sleep and stress management. Hydration and key nutrients to support recovery. Progress tracking to reinforce your momentum. This is not a temporary program. This is a lifestyle protocol, one that keeps your muscles alive, your metabolism young, and your independence secure. In the conclusion, I will recap the key lessons, reinforce why they matter, and challenge you to take the first step today because your future strength depends on the actions you take right now. We begin today with a simple but important question. Is walking enough to protect your strength, metabolism, and independence as you age? And what we have discovered is clear. Walking is valuable, but it is not enough to fight the silent thief of muscle mass known as sarcopenia. Here is what is really going on inside your body. Without resistance, muscles shrink. When they shrink, your metabolic engine slows, blood sugar control weakens, fat storage accelerates, and aging speeds up. But with the right kind of stimulation, short bursts of resistance through movements like squats and push-ups, you flip the biological switch from decline to growth. You activate satellite cells, preserve muscle fibers, and reignite the hormones that keep your body in repair mode. Think about what this means for your daily life. Squats strengthen the lower body muscles you rely on every time you sit, stand, or climb stairs. Push-ups strengthen the upper body and core that help you lift, carry, and protect your posture. Together, they engage nearly every major muscle group in your body. Add consistent protein, restorative sleep, and smart recovery, and you create the perfect internal environment for growth. Let me give you one more analogy. Imagine your body is a house you want to live in for decades. Walking is like sweeping the floors. It keeps things tidy, but it does not reinforce the foundation. Squats and push-ups are the structural repairs that keep the beams strong and the walls standing. Without them, the house may look fine for a while, but eventually it crumbles. With them, the structure stands firm for years to come. The science backs this up. Studies show that even older adults in their 60s, 70s, and beyond can gain meaningful strength and mobility through these two simple exercises. That means it is never too late. Whether you are 30, 50, or 80, your muscles are listening to the signals you send. And with just 15 minutes a day, you can choose to send a message of growth, resilience, and longevity. So here are the key takeaways to remember. Number 1, walking supports health but does not stop sarcopenia. Number 2, muscle is not just for strength. It is a metabolic organ that protects your whole body. Number 3, squats and push-ups together form a complete at-home solution to stimulate growth. Number 4, pair exercise with protein, sleep, and recovery for maximum effect. Number 5, consistency, not intensity, is the real secret to lasting change. Now, here is my challenge for you. Starting today, try just one set of squats and one set of push-ups. That is it. Even if it is only 5 repetitions each, track how your body feels after a week. Notice the strength in your legs when you rise from a chair. Notice the stability in your core when you carry something heavy. These small wins will show you that your body is still adaptable, still capable, still ready to grow. If this added value to your life, like the video and subscribe to join others who are optimizing their health naturally. I post new content every day to help you unlock the science of longevity, strength, and metabolism. And remember, the supplements we discussed in this video are tagged with the video, and you can find them easily from online stores. Your body is your greatest asset. Protect it, invest in it, and strengthen it with these simple tools. Because aging is not just about the years you live, it is about the strength you carry into those years.